Welcome on in, Horus Heresy, as well as Traitorous Legion enjoyers. This is Screws and Studs, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Legion Praetor and Cataphractii Armor for the Thousand Sons. Now, the Thousand Sons are my favorite Traitor Legion. That is why I have focused a lot of my coverage on the Thousand Sons, but I think that these Horus Heresy action figures are getting the better of me because their armors are so nice and shiny. But anyways, without further ado, let's get to the review. If you join me in the review of the Sekhmet Terminator Cabal, then this action figure should be familiar to you, but with some slight subtle differences. So as with other Thousand Sons Marines we have seen in the Horus Heresy, this Marine boasts a very prominent and shiny red armor with delicious golden flake embedded into the armor. Also, when I'm holding this one, there's a certain amount of heft to it, which is very nice as you feel as if your money is going into something with substance. With regards to the headdress, same as the Cabal, the Praetor has this scorpion claw headdress, or it can even be looked almost as a fox or a cat up here, depending on how you interpret it, that stands tall and proud above the shoulders of the Terminator. This area is completely the same as the one with the lightning claws, except that instead of the white and gold bands that are found in this base Terminator right here, the Praetor is different because this Marine sports a more dignified headdress with black and gold stripes. I really like the head and the face region, and especially this green cloth bit that is found in this Terminator helmet cavity and below this helmet area. It kind of makes this figure look like he is cushy and comfy in his armor for some odd reason. The construction of the helmet uses the same exact recipe when compared to the regular Cabal as you see it side by side over here. There is the presence of a single metallic green lens, while the other side of the face is dominated by this symbol right here. It's also interesting that instead of a white mask, this one has a golden one to further separate this head chef from the line cooks. The top of the pauldrons are also different on this Marine because the regular Terminators have the scarab and the Roman numeral 15 on it, while this leader has a raised rune that looks like it is loosely based on a combination of the Mark of Tzeentch as well as the Eye of Magnus. The top part is more arched and more ornate looking compared to the base Terminator. Moving down to the arm area, perhaps this is the first time me seeing this, but there is a piece of plastic that is supposed to mimic a cloth that wraps around the arms of the Terminator. This area is obviously predominantly olive green, with some lighter green highlights. The edge of the plastic has a gold lining, which further adds to the flavor. This cuff also fits very loosely around the arm and gives the arm a lot of wiggle room. The forearm area boasts two different golden symbols that are big and beefy that stand out from the glittery red. Now, you may be wondering why the stole is hanging out on the right hand side. As I have stated before, I always point out manufacturer defects as I pull the action figure out of the box. Unfortunately, one of the stoles became detached during transport or assembly. Not a really big deal because this can be super glued back on. This is the area that the stole was originally attached to. So if you want to look at the two small stoles right here, they are definitely derived from the Mark of Tzeentch with the ball over here and the flames that are licking up. I think that the large ones definitely bear a resemblance to the Dark Tongue, which is apparently the language of chaos. Otherwise, it would appear to be at its simplest runes that are loosely based on Egyptian iconography. Now, the chest area is dominated by a gigantic gold-winged scarab, which is true to the iconography of the Thousand Sons. It doesn't appear to have much shading on it, and there's a slight unsightly paint defect on the carapace of my action figure that may or may not be present on yours if you decide to get this. Typically, the torsos do not have that much going on, but this one has prominent hoses that can be seen running from the chest area all the way down to the waist region. And speaking of the waist region, loud, proud, front and center is this gigantic bulk buckle that has the Thousand Sons chapter symbol on it. Dangling down from that area is a wingless scarab that apparently has the wily Chaos God's flame for a tail. Behind all that is a tabard in which the green color perfectly matches the green that is seen on this cape right here. There is also a nice gold embroidery at the end of it to add more spice to an already stellar looking area. The front of the legs are dominated by this modified inverted Tzeentch-like symbol, Interesting in that these symbols are fairly similar at first glance, but when you take a look at it, the left one over here has a continuous flame, while the right one has one that is broken up by this halo over here. Otherwise, on the side of the armor right here, there is more evidence of the Lord of Change. The back of the legs also sport the excellent terraced effect that we've seen in Leman Russ's armor, as well as the Cabal Terminators. This terracing does serve to break up an area in which tends to be rather simplistic and basic on a regular Terminator. With regards to the cape, it wraps around the shoulder joints right here and is very loose to give a nice and flowy kind of feel. I'm sure this is also done to give the action figure maximum articulation. There's a good amount of texturization by the way of these folds right here in the plastic or quote-unquote fabric. The highest part of these wrinkles are further accentuated by the lighter green color. There is also the mark of the Chaos God Tzeentch at both ends of the cape right here. In contrast to the green in the back, the inner lining of the cape is plain and unadorned. It appears to be a light bone color with some weird reddish shading right here all throughout the inner part. So with regards to this Stormbolter, again, we have seen the same Stormbolter in previous Cataphractii Terminators from the Thousand Suns Legion. It is rightly archaic looking and just consists of two bolters that are combined together. So the bolter sports the white casing and some gunmetal seasoning that stand in stark contrast to the golden glittered shiny red of the armor. So I am going to assume that this is an Achaea Force weapon, well, more like a Force staff than anything else. The top of the weapon does not deviate from what we have seen before on the Cabal. It is clearly derived from the Egyptian Khopesh again. The bottom of the staff here bears a very striking resemblance to a spear tip. However, there's a difference in the coloration in that this weapon looks like it has a deeper and richer color than the Cabal Terminator weapons. There is the same silver sheen at the edge of the blade. However, the rest of the staff is coated in a bronze glow that is on top of this gunmetal color. The color contrast provides a ton of depth and richness in flavor, as you can see. And this is the base Achaea Force weapon that you find in the Sekhmet Terminator Cabal. And you can see the vast difference in coloration with regards to this Force staff versus this regular looking Achaea Force weapon. And so thank you for joining me in this review. Time to close out with my final thoughts. Alright, Thousand Suns action figure enjoyers, please let me know what you thought of this particular action figure in the comment section below, and I will let you know right now what I thought of it. Well, in general, I would have to say that this action figure is a very sublime looking one. I do like the candy apple red, as well as the white and the gold that contrast with this particular action figure. And I think that adding that green cape and the cuffs really adds just a little bit more spice on this action figure compared to the rest of them. There's not too much to say about the Stormbolter, but the Achaea Force staff, or whatever you want to call that thing, is a pretty imposing as well as a very richly saturated color that I really enjoy. If you are interested in picking up this Legion Praetor, please click in the link in the description below, or you will be brought to David Toys, where I buy almost all of my action figures. The reason why is they provide excellent customer service and very quick shipping. Sometimes they can get these action figures to your door in just 4 days for free shipping. It's pretty amazing. And don't forget to use the code SNS to save 12% off before you check out. And in closing, thank you so much, members of the chapter, for diligently watching all these action figure reviews. I am very appreciative of every single one of you who leave a comment, hit that like button, and just view the whole entire video in its whole entirety. These really do help the channel and boost up the metrics that YouTube loves. And so to end, as usual, I'll see you all in the next one.